Today is my viral wisdom that I do now only on Sundays, once a week, and it's day number 58. So happy that I get to connect with you and share some feedback, some insights from all the talks I give and from all the clients I meet, and my own awareness and my own growth. So I'm so happy that you allow me to share this space with you. Hi guys, I see you all signing in. Thank you for joining me. I'm happy to be here. So, here we are again, still in a strange time. Strange because it is still unknown to us, strange because it is unfamiliar. And in these times, we are called more than ever to constantly transform. Life is always asking us to transform constantly, but because we have the illusion of predictability and the illusion of structure, we think we don't have the mandate to transform. But when our predictability gets snatched from us, it seems, abducted from us, it appears, as it is doing now with this thing called the pandemic, we are shown very fiercely and boldly, brutally, that transformation is the only way out. Adaptation, transformation. But again, let me remind you, this was always the case. But we disguised this mandate through the illusion of structure, predictability, thinking we had control, thinking we knew our future. So we resisted this mandate to constantly iterate, to constantly transform. But when the band-aid is now snatched and taken away from our wound, leaving the wound exposed, now we are left with ourselves. The external is not a cushion, a blanket, a salve, a soothe, a soothsayer. The external is gone. You're peering out, looking for your external crutches, and they are just not there. Citadels have toppled. Fortresses have crumbled. Institutions have betrayed us. So we are now left with the wound of the self, the untended self, the unhealed self, the wound of the raw self, without the external dependencies, without the external addictions. And we are going, holy shit, I don't know how to heal myself. I don't know how to be with myself. I don't know what this looks like. I need my addictions. I need my substances. I need what I have always relied on. The busyness, the doing, the attachments, the spending, the overspending, the over-worrying about the future. So now it's gone. And in its place is new stuff, but different stuff. And you're like, I don't like this stuff. Yet we see that transformation is the only way forward. So what are we transforming? We're transforming the old to the new. What does that mean? We are letting go. In order for transformation to occur, we have to let go of the old and bring in the new. Now, this letting go is where we have a problem. We are attached not only to the things, we're attached to the way time was, we are attached to the way the future was, we are attached to who we were. On top of that, we're attached to the security that brings. So not only the actuals, but then the emotional component of those we are attached to. How do we let it all go? We're like, no, why to let it go? Because maybe it'll come back, and then why would I let it go? Like you do with your skinny clothes, right? Women know this. We leave the skinny clothes there in case the skinny dim of the old self reappears. How can we let go of the skinny jeans? What if I become skinny one day again? Never mind, the last time I wore them was 17 years ago, but we don't let it go. We have a whole section, Ask Women, of the skinny closet, in the hopes that that will come back. But it's not just that, you see. It's the emotional well-being that we associate with that. We don't want to let that go, because we cannot iterate to the new, because to shed is so painful. To let go, demolish the old is terrifying. And this is why, if you're having a hard time in the pandemic, this is why, right? In any spiritual, emotional process, the reason why we suffer is because of only one thing. We're attached. Another way to say it is we're resisting the isness. Why? Because we're attached. Any problem in life which is causing suffering is due to only this. And this is, I wish could be my wisdom, but it isn't. It's the wisdom of the Buddha. The Buddha got it clearly distilled simply. The reason we suffer is because we're attached. And because we're attached to what was, what should be, our beliefs, our ideology, as I talked about last time, because of that, we resist. And what do we resist? Life in the now. We resist life in the now. The now is happening wave upon wave, experiences upon experiences, but we're missing it all because we're like, no, 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 don't like it. Swipe, 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 delete, delete, delete. But you can delete inbox emails and you can delete people. You can't delete life, right? Life is. And the more we resist it, the more suffering and pain we have. Entering the now and understanding that a new you needs to show up in the new now is the epiphany and the most profound challenge. So, how to grieve? There's grieving. We must grieve. But we must grieve. We can't cling. You see, we're not even entering the tunnel to then enter the birth canal because we're like, just in case it all comes back. But you don't understand. It'll never come back the same way. It's gone. It's finished. And I hate to break it to you. Even when it comes back, it will not be the same. It shouldn't be the same. It can't be the same. Even in the past when you thought it was the same, it was never the same. You just were hidden, or it was hidden behind the veils of sameness. So the veils of sameness make you feel that things are constant, things are safe, things are predictable. And then when the veil drops or gets lifted, whichever way you want to look at it, or gets snatched, pulled back, you think there's been a betrayal. You think it's a tragedy. You think there's something amiss, awry, detrimental, dysfunctional. No, it was always changing. It was just doing it more nuanced. And then there's a big one, and then there's nuance, and there's a big one. But whenever there's a big one, we act as if this came from nowhere. We didn't pay attention to the nuances. There were changes every single day, death occurring, 50 trillion cells living and dying in us every single day. But we're not attuned to that because we are only paying attention to the big, the form, the quantifiable, the check marks, things that we can see, touch, hear, feel, but not the nuances beneath that. And because we miss the nuances, then any change, there are always small, big changes occurring, but the big ones feel traumatic because we're like, where did this come? Right? I see this in relationships all the time when one will say, and then he changed, and then she changed, then I caught him cheating, then I caught him gambling. I'm like, oh, yes, I know it feels like that because we weren't paying attention to the little signs that were very, very clear, because it's so hard to see things as they are. We only will see things as they are when it slaps us in the face. Then we're like, oh, and then we're all upset and betrayed and going, oh, how did life is so difficult. I'm so unlucky. Bloody pandemic. It's not that. There were causes and effects all building, but we're like, nope. So now, without the external comforts, we are forced to do several things. in the transformation process. If we wish to enter the birth canal, we haven't even entered the dark tunnel to even get to the birth canal, okay? We're clinging to the uterus, okay? The child needs to be bloody born, but the child is clinging, okay? And therefore you have intense labor pains, so much so you're bedridden and paralyzed, to use the same analogy. You want to be bedridden and paralyzed? Okay, let the baby, the infant, whatever it's, the fetus, cling to the uterus. We got to push. We got to start the labor pains. And part of the labor pains, the first part, is the letting go. Stop clinging to the fetus. The fetus needs to be born. The new needs to come. So we're clinging, not letting go. This is the first problem. Attached. Now every mother knows that baby got to come out. Either the baby comes out or we both die. Or which is it going to be? And it isn't pretty, and it's torturous, and those contractions are bloody murderous. Murderous. And then the fun starts. Then we have PTSD, postpartum, then we are changing nappies filled with shit for the rest of our lives in different metaphorical ways. Okay, it just doesn't end. And you're like, why didn't anyone tell me? And we're so deluded that we have more. So in the same way, we got to push the baby out. So first thing is to let go. What am I not letting go of? What am I not grieving? And the thing is not to just jump to, oh, this is so wonderful. No, that's spiritual bypass. This is painful. Honor it. Big feelings. Huge. Cry already. Let it go. Scream in anguish. Have the labor pains. Cry. Start already. Start the process. All we're doing is just going, waiting. Can't be waiting. So induced labor will happen when you keep waiting. Okay, then we need intervention, and we will induce the bloody labor, which will happen. That's what life does. It'll induce it. Do you want to induce it, or do you want to start the process yourself? Suggestions. A good suggestion, start the process yourself. What am I not letting go of? What am I resisting? What am I clinging to in the hopes of it returning, though it can never return in the same way? I'm afraid. What am I afraid of? I'm deathly terrified. Of what? Of losing what? Of letting go of what? Yes, ultimately the raw wound of the self that we're afraid to encounter is, who will I be without? Who am I now? Now that is terrifying, but it is the portal to the spiritual rebirth, right? Do you need to know who your baby is before your baby comes out? Yes. I know you want to know, you think you know, and then it's a grand old shock, right? When the baby comes out, you're like, you don't look like me, you don't feel like me, who are you? And then you feel betrayed that the baby is nothing like you, because you think it's going to be you. No, new you, new her, to rebirth, birth. This is why we're not moving along the birth canal in this process, because we're not letting go. We're thinking the old will be the new. Old can never be the new. Only the new can be the new. But the new is something we've never seen. Ask any mother the shock. One of her great epiphanies, so simplistic and naive, but it's a great grand epiphany for a mother. Oh my God, I have no idea who my baby is. And everyone is like, why, you thought you knew your baby? You're like, yeah, I thought she'd be me. And then we feel betrayed. Then we take them for therapy. We medicate them. And we discipline them because they're not like us, right? This is what we're doing here. We're doing the same thing. We want us to come out at this other end, and we're clinging. We're not letting go. So grieving, cry an ocean, but start the process. Feel the pain, write it down, journal it. But just like in birth, you do get a doula, you do get a person to help you. Hire a coach, get somebody to assist you. On that segue, I have a coaching institute, and my coaches are willing to give 30 minutes free sessions to eligible people only. So #help here and tag me, and I will get you assistance. Okay, so I've even created an auxiliary support system for people who need help. The point is, seek counsel, get the help, start the process going. And then you have to constantly understand that this is the chance for a new you. Now this is scary, I get it. But this question of who will I be today is not one reserved for a pandemic. It was the eternal question, right? But now we're being asked to ask in clarity, in intention, with consciousness. For the first time, the entire globe has to ask what every wisdom teacher knows they should be asking moment by moment. Who am I now? Who am I now? And until we can answer that, and it's an ever fluid, ever changing, now we get it, it's changing, we don't know tomorrow. For the first time, we are clear that any ascription or illusions about tomorrow are simply that, illusions. We don't know tomorrow. We only know now. And this is scary because every day we have to iterate ourselves. We have to reinvent ourselves. I'm doing this. If you're finding yourself doing it and thinking you're crazy, no, you're doing it right. This is the new normal. Constant iteration. Constantly saying, I only know today. I'm going to do the best today, and then we're going to see what the next moment brings, because it's moment by moment by moment living. Life was always moment by moment by moment living, but we had delusions going on, mass psychosis. We were seduced into the somnolence of thinking, the lull of complacency. You know, all our institutions were all set up. We go to primary school, then we go to middle school, then high school, then college, then we get married, then we work for you, then have baby number 1, baby number 2. All an illusion. Life was never meant to be institutionalized. Life was always meant to be lived moment by moment. It's freaking terrifying. Yes, yes. But courage is not the abnegation of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is its transcendence, right? Courage is in spite of fear. That to know fear is my bedfellow. Ain't leaving fear. Don't run from fear. Fear is not to be afraid of. Fear is not going anywhere. So the sooner you understand, fear is here. Like once our kids are here, chaos is here, right? Now it's a shitstorm till never, really, sadly to say. Now, never ever. They're not even going to college. It's like, they're here. I wake up for the last 4 months, they're here. Whoa, talk about like life's lessons. We had them, now we got to keep them. So in the same way, fear is here. There's no running away. You know, when fear comes, don't run the other way. You know, there's lots of pithy maxim wisdoms. Oh, when fear comes, run the other way. No, it'll chase you and bite you in your butt. Don't run. You can't run from fear. Everywhere you go is fear. Fear is not something to be afraid of. Fear is normal. And with fear comes courage. The fear's other side is courage. So you want courage, you have to have fear. You know, people think there's only courage without fear. Huh? There's no such thing. Why have courage if there's no fear? Right? It's a non-dual concept. Right? Why would I have to be courageous if there's no goddamn fear? So you want courage? Have fear. Fear isn't going anywhere. People think fear is going somewhere. Or you can outrun, outwit, outmaneuver fear. Why would you do that? The beauty of life is living with it, is understanding it's here to be with you. You know, when I was younger, I don't know which year, okay, you'll know. I did some work with the tsunami victims in India. You know, India was ravaged, Southeast Asia was ravaged, 2008 I think, I can't remember. So I went to the ravaged place, very brave, full of fear, to work with the tsunami victims, okay? I was terrified, the tsunami's coming back, going to take me with it, okay? But pretended to be very brave. And I thought I would help them to overcome their fear. That this was my naive zeal as a young psychologist. And when I got there, I realized, oh, there's no overcoming this. There's no overcoming it. It's complete living with and understanding it and managing it day by day. It's not the dissolution of fear, it's its transformation into its courage, into its other part, courage. But fear, courage, fear, courage, fear. Now it's just an awareness that holy shit, it's here. And that life is so delicate, and that life is so ephemeral, and that life is so tenuous. But there's nothing to be betrayed by this fact that life is tenuous. This was its eternal teaching. We didn't want to learn it till a crisis occurs. When a crisis occurs, you're going, holy shit, I could die. Yes. So now We can't outwit this fact that you can die. We can outrun or outmaneuver, outtrick this fact. It is a constant bedfellow. It's a constant companion. It's sitting right here. Your death is right here, so to speak. So thinking that you are without it is your illusion, is our illusion, our global mass delusion. Now, if you're awake and aware, you're like, oh, it's been here all along. Hello. Hello, death. Hello, fear. Now, who am I with you? You've always been there. I just pretended you weren't because I could Botox and I could dye my hair, pretend I'm going to live forever, go and make myself busy night and day. Never had to sit with myself. Now I have to sit with you in the house all the time, face you in the mirror. Now what? Right? So now, the what is in the now, right? We shift the now what to what is in the now. What is in the now is a new you, is the next you. And the next you is the one who shows up. That's all that is being asked from you. Not to be a Mahatma Gandhi, not to be a Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela. No, it's to show up as you. And for the first time, perhaps, without pretense, without a mask, without guile, without a disguise. Show up, but show up fully. Show up present. It can only occur, though, through the letting go, through the grieving and the entrance willingly in the tunnel. To know that the tunnel is changing into a birth canal. Right? You're coming down the uterus, whatever the body part is, and then there's the birth canal. So this is the process. So are you going to allow yourself to understand the new you, to invite the new you, to become the new you? The new you can only come from the shedding. It cannot come if you're clinging to the old. So the new you awaits you. And it's going to await you every single day. So every day, now actually, for me actually, the way I look at it, there's less pressure. Right? I love wearing a mask because no pressure. Anonymous. Nobody bothers me. I don't have to dress up. I can look however I want. What freedom, right? Because while we're masking the ego, it's allowing us to actually free the soul, right? We're masking all our need to be all that. All that is gone because that needs to stop. And we unmask the true self. So to me, I look at this time as a pressure valve being released. Does it have critical mass of fear? Yes. Less money, less this, less that. Sure. But with it, freedom. With it, less need to buy things. Less need to impress people. Less need to go out. Less need to be somewhere. No need to buy fancy clothes, shoes, dresses. Done. So look at it with its totality of non-duality. Yes, there's less, but there's also less of a whole lot of bullshit. Right? So yes, you have less money. Yes, you have stress. Yes, you have that. Yeah. But look all the gifts you're getting. Now, how do we capitalize into that energy and make the new you, right? And birth the new you. It's hard. It requires transformation, adaptation. Every day I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's still here. Okay, we're still here. Okay, adapt. How am I going to use the next 12 hours to enter courage, to enter understanding my fear? Talk to my fear, enter courage. Talk to my fear, enter courage. How am I going to be bold today? What is a new thing I can do today? What's something new I can learn today? The internet is our playground, right? Who are you going to listen to today? Whose wisdom are you going to imbibe today? Whose friendship are you going to invite in today? There's time. For the first time in our life, we have some time. Use it wisely, right? There's no reason to not walk till you're exhausted. There's no reason to not take a wisdom teacher's course for free. There's so much being offered for free. There's no reason to sit in stagnation. The only reason you will sit in stagnation is because you're clinging to what was and what should be in your head. Your ideological clinging, your ideological attachments to your old belief systems. Now we're in the new now. Okay? Until we get here, show up to it, we will suffer. The sooner you go, okay, I'm here. This sucks. It's painful. I want to cry every day, but I'm here. How can I show up in this reality? In this reality, you don't have to change to become something else. You just have to show up to the reality as you. But as long as you're clinging to the old you, you won't show up to this new reality as you, as the new you. The new you is ready. It's there, but you're shoving it down. You're making it be stuck to your uterus wall, right? Let it come out. Allow it through the grieving, through the crying, through the fears. But now we're here. And you can ask yourself, wow, who are you today? What's your name today? Who are you going to be today? How are you going to transform yourself today? What's something new you can learn today? Just like a new child. What's a new word? What's a new skill? What's a new exercise? What's a new friend you can make? What's a new experiment you can embark on today? Moment by moment by moment by moment. This is it. We have no option. The mandate is clear. Transformation is the only rule to follow. Transformation by definition means moment by moment by moment by moment. This is it. We're here. No escape. This is what it means when the saying says the wisdom of no escape. There is no escape. There never was an escape. We thought we could escape. Now the escape is gone, but there was no escape. So we're back to where we always were. Now, perhaps with greater clarity, greater consciousness, greater awareness that the inner work needs to be done. We need to grow up. We need to transform. No more reliance on the outer world. It's now looking within. You have the power. You have more power than you believe. You are a healer. You are your own healer. You are your own mother. You're your own father. I want to say trust me, but why should you? You have to trust yourself. You have it. Each time I remind myself that I am my healer. I am my shore. I am my horizon. I shift in my energy. So I'm here to remind you to activate that memory, to ignite that courage and power within you. Whatever you're looking for that you're missing, it was never on the outside. It was always within you. Now you just have to, you can't pretend it's on the outside anymore. You see, this is why you're like going through withdrawal. Now it's short-circuited. But this is the gift. No more bullshit. Don't pretend it's on the outside. It's you. Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. If you need help from my coaches, only qualified people, yes, if I cannot take severe cases, #help, tag me, and we'll try to get to you. I am still taking applications for my fabulous coaching institute, where I train people online to become conscious parenting coaches with the messages that I transmit. And if you're interested, if you want to transform, you want to help humanity, you want a new path, you want a new purpose, you want something to do at home, otherwise you're going to go stark raving crazy, then look up my institute. It's on my website, drshefali.com. I'm taking applications for another 6 days only. You have to apply. If you have a passion, if you show me that you want to help, that's the only qualification. You show me that you're not too crazy. That's the only qualification you need. Cohort number 4 starts in September. We're getting applications. We're reading applications. We're so excited. It's going to be a fabulous new cohort. So if you're looking for purpose and passion, join us. If you need help, #help. One of my graduates from my coaching institute will connect with you. Okay, guys. See you next week, I think. Bye. Thank you for listening, guys. Bye, Instagram.